Nobody wakes up transformed. No one goes to sleep ordinary and rises extraordinary. No one flips a switch, crosses a finish line, or finds a magic moment that makes them suddenly different, better, unstoppable. That is not how it works. And deep down, you already know that. But here is what most people do not know. What nobody really teaches you in school. What no motivational poster on a wall ever quite captures. The truth about how real, lasting, life-changing transformation actually happens. It happens by 1%, just one. Not 10, not 50. Not a dramatic overnight reinvention that leaves everyone around you speechless. One tiny, almost invisible, barely measurable improvement, repeated every single day. That is it. That is the whole secret. And before you close this and say, that sounds too simple, I want you to stay with me. Because the mathematics behind this idea are not simple at all. They are staggering. They are the kind of numbers that once you truly understand them will make you look at every single day of your life completely differently. This is the science of getting stronger every day. And it starts with a single honest question. What if you got just 1% better today? Let us start with the numbers, because the numbers tell a story that words alone cannot. If you get 1% better every single day for 1 year, just 1%, nothing dramatic, nothing that anyone around you would even notice, you will end that year not 10% better, not 20% better. You will be 37 times better than when you started. 37 times. That is not motivation. That is mathematics. That is the law of compound growth applied to human beings. And it works whether you believe in it or not, whether you feel it happening or not, whether anyone around you sees it or not. But here is the other side of that equation, the side nobody likes to talk about. If you get 1% worse every day, if you slack a little, skip a little, settle a little, you will end that same year not slightly behind. You will have decayed to nearly zero. You will have lost almost everything you had, 1% every day, in either direction. The direction is your choice. Now, this idea did not come from a self-help book written last Tuesday. It has roots in science, in psychology, in the real documented history of human performance. British cycling coach Sir Dave Brailsford called it the aggregation of marginal gains. When he took over the British cycling team in 2003, they had almost no history of winning. They had not won the Tour de France in over 100 years of trying. His approach was not to make one massive change. It was to find every single tiny thing that could be improved by just a fraction. The angle of a seat, the weight of a tire, the warmth of a rider's muscle before a race, the type of pillow a cyclist slept on the night before competition, and make each one slightly better. 5 years later, the British cycling team dominated the Olympics, and they went on to win the Tour de France multiple times. 1%, aggregated, daily. But let us bring this out of the world of elite sport and into your world, your actual, everyday, real life. Because the principle works exactly the same way, whether you are training for a race or building a business, whether you are learning a language or healing a relationship, whether you are trying to get healthy, get focused, get free, or simply become the version of yourself that you have been quietly imagining for years. The enemy of the 1% mindset is not laziness. It is impatience. We live in a world that has trained us to expect instant results. You order food and it arrives in 30 minutes. You search a question and the answer appears in seconds. You want to feel better, look better, earn more, stress less, and you want evidence that it is working by the end of the week. But growth does not perform on demand. It does not show up when you are watching. It compounds in the background quietly and consistently, and then one day, without warning, you look up and realize you are not the same person who started. That realization never comes in the middle. It only comes when you look back. This is why most people quit. Not because they are weak, not because they lack potential, but because they cannot see the progress happening in real time and they mistake invisibility for absence. The seed does not look like a tree. The foundation does not look like a building. The first draft does not look like a masterpiece. But that does not mean nothing is happening. Everything is happening. So what does 1% better actually look like in practice? It looks like reading 5 pages before you look at your phone in the morning. It looks like drinking 1 extra glass of water, writing 1 more paragraph, making 1 more call, having 1 honest conversation you have been avoiding, going to bed 30 minutes earlier, replacing 1 mindless scroll with 1 purposeful thought. It does not look impressive. It does not feel monumental. It will not get you likes on social media or applause from the people around you. But stack those moments day after day, week after week, month after month, and something remarkable begins to take shape. You begin to trust yourself. And that is the part nobody talks about enough. The 1% principle is not just about skills or output or performance metrics. It is about identity. Every time you show up, even in the smallest way, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. Every small win is a piece of evidence that you are someone who does what they say they will do, someone who follows through, someone who grows. And the more evidence you collect, the stronger that identity becomes. Until one day, you are not trying to be disciplined, you are disciplined. You are not trying to be consistent, you are consistent. You are not chasing the better version of yourself, you have become it. That is the science. That is the compound return on daily investment in yourself. 1%, every day, no exceptions. I want to leave you with something real. You will never feel ready for the big leap, the massive transformation, the dramatic before and after that you see in your mind when you imagine the life you want. That feeling of readiness, it almost never comes. And waiting for it is the most expensive thing a person can do with their time. But 1%, you can do that right now, today, in the next hour, in the next decision. You do not need motivation. You do not need a perfect plan or a clean slate or the right circumstances to align. You need a direction and a willingness to take 1 small step toward it every single day. The people who change their lives are not the ones who made 1 enormous move. They are the ones who made thousands of tiny moves that nobody saw coming and refused to stop. They got up when it was hard. They showed up when it was inconvenient. They chose growth when comfort was right there, easier and warmer and more familiar than anything else. And slowly, 1% at a time, they became someone the world could not ignore. You have that same capacity right now. In the life you already have, with the time you already own, starting from wherever you are standing today. Do not wait for the breakthrough. Be the breakthrough, 1% at a time. Because here is the last thing I want you to remember, and I want you to carry it with you long after this ends. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are just 1 decision away from the first day of a streak that could change everything. Start today, get 1% better, and then do it again tomorrow.